Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw here on WWE 2k16 Universe Mode, and we are kicking tonight's show off with our new WWE Champion Seth Rollins. Last week, Seth Rollins climbed to the top of the ladder and picked up the win to win his second WWE Championship title here on Raw. So here it is. Let's take a quick look of last week's action. Rollins climbing to the top of the ladder. Ambrose was thrown to the outside of the ring. Rollins grabs the championship, and there it is, your new champion, Seth Rollins, who's out here tonight to celebrate as he prepares for his rematch against Dean Ambrose that will take place at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which was made official earlier on this week. So that is one match to certainly look forward to. How will Seth Rollins prepare for his match, and what will his message be to Dean Ambrose for Money in the Bank? Ever since WrestleMania, I have told everybody that I deserve to be the WWE Champion. I never really got a rematch at WrestleMania. It was a triple threat match. I had the match won, and it was stolen away from me. The only reason why I lost the championship in the first place was because it was an Elimination Chamber match. Now, I finally get a one-on-one rematch. I finally get a match that I have deserved this whole time. And I prove to everybody that I am better than Dean Ambrose, and it should have been me this whole time as the WWE Champion. Last year, I ran this show. I was the #1 star. I was the reason why people tuned in every single week. Now, I am giving you all another reason to come back. Everybody has left to SmackDown now. All the viewers can come back because the real star is back on top. Dean Ambrose, I have proven every single time we have matched up that I am better than him. Last year at Money in the Bank, it was Dean Ambrose and I one-on-one for the United States Championship, and I defeated Dean. Now this year, it's going to be a repeat because this time it's for the WWE Championship. And Dean Ambrose, mark my words, I am just getting started. You took away months of my career, months of my legacy. Now, I'm going to take away months of your career. In 3 weeks' time at Money in the Bank, it is a chance to submit my legacy as the greatest Raw superstar in the history of Universe Mode. I am going to hold this championship for the rest of this year and prove to everybody that I am the best. Not Dean Ambrose, not Roman Reigns, not Dolph Ziggler, me, Seth Rollins. And Dean Ambrose, I suggest that you go down without a fight, because if you try and take this away from me at Money in the Bank, I will put you down, just like I have done many times in the past. Dean, when will you get it through your head that I am better than you? And at Money in the Bank, I will show you once again. Seth Rollins' confidence is absolutely through the roof after his victory last week. Can Dean Ambrose defeat him? Well, only time will tell. As you can see, 3 weeks away from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and tonight on Monday Night Raw, we begin our journey to finding out the 6 superstars that will compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match for Monday Night Raw. Last week we found out that Rusev will be the first entrant. Tonight we find out our next 2, and our first of our 2 Money in the Bank qualifying matchups. It will be RHYNO versus Mark Henry, one-on-one. Can RHYNO enter himself in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Plus, tonight, Paige goes one-on-one with Emma, 2 former Divas champions battling it out. We still don't know our next contender for the Divas title. Ryback and Roman Reigns, they're teaming up again this week. This time they take on the returning Los Matadors. Speaking of tag team action, it will be the Ascension in tag team action against the Prime Time Players. CESARO goes one-on-one with Bad News Barrett in our second Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. 2 up-and-coming stars who really are waiting to break through, have a big chance to break through in that matchup and get themselves very close to Money in the Bank. Dean Ambrose, he goes one-on-one with Chris Jericho, looking to bounce back after his loss last week. He takes on one half of the Beast Code and one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions. Paige versus Emma. It is Emma picking up the victory. Ryback and Roman Reigns, can they do it again? Yes! Another win, this time over the Matadors. Well, hey, they're very close to a tag title shot in my opinion. The Ascension, though, they may have something to say about that as they pick up a tag team win. And Ambrose versus Jericho. Dean Ambrose bounces back successfully. Thank goodness for that. Now, our Money in the Bank qualifiers. Well, without a doubt, tonight, this is a big chance for RHYNO, who has obviously been right in contention for the United States Championship. But Rusev just keeps on finding a way to, I suppose, hide from RHYNO. Every time RHYNO gets close to getting his hands on Rusev, Rusev gets himself involved in something else. While RHYNO is going to be chasing Rusev, and he's going to try and do that tonight. Here in the Money in the Bank ladder match qualifier, he comes up against Mark Henry, two behemoths coming out after each other here tonight. RHYNO, a veteran as is Mark Henry, but RHYNO has only been back for a short period of time. He's already made a big impact since his return, and he's looking to continue that wave of momentum. Mark Henry, a former tag team champion in recent times, is the one man stepping in his way. Can RHYNO defeat Mark Henry and take the second spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Well, he'll have a tough time of it here tonight, but certainly RHYNO has a lot of confidence and momentum on his side. Mark Henry, not so much momentum for him. Obviously losing the tag team titles when he was teaming with Kane, and they're still together as a tag team, but Mark Henry, a former World Heavyweight Champion and a former Money in the Bank ladder match winner. Mark Henry won the first ever ladder match here in Universe Mode, and he cashed in successfully to win the World Heavyweight Championship on an episode of SmackDown by cashing in on Sheamus. So Henry, plenty of experience. I mean, we wrote him off. If you go back to that match, I said in the preview that there was literally no chance in hell that Mark Henry would win the ladder match because I just didn't think Mark Henry was suited for it. A big 400+ pounder, bit of a slow moving kind of guy. He's not really one to get up on top of the ladder and climb and reach for the case, but he did it, and he did it successfully. He did it well, and he became a World Heavyweight Champion because of it. And now RHYNO, here we go, underway, and straight away with a clothesline, taking down the big man. So a good start here by RHYNO. So it doesn't matter what size the superstar is, doesn't matter what they look like. The fact of the matter is Money in the Bank can be suited towards everybody. We've seen it, Mark Henry winning, last year Chris Jericho winning, so two different sides of the spectrum right there, and it goes to show that it doesn't matter who you are, you have a chance to win Money in the Bank if you can qualify. Two Money in the Bank ladder matches this year, obviously. SmackDown have already named a few of their superstars that will be a part of it. I think they have the likes of Orton, Bryan, and Sheamus. Monday Night Raw only has Rusev so far, not announcing anybody in advance. Instead, everybody that's going to be in this match has to qualify, making it much more difficult to get in it. Whereas SmackDown, a few of their guys got a free pass, so it's going to make it a little bit harder. I mean, obviously right now you've got a number of the top stars here on Raw kind of focus on a number of things. You've got Roman Reigns and Ryback perhaps focus on those tag titles. Jericho and Batista currently tag team champions. Triple H tried to get in there last week. He failed. And now Dean Ambrose is chasing the WWE title. So there's a lot of spaces available for somebody like a Mark Henry or a Kane or a RHYNO, and later on CESARO and Barrett, and maybe a Sami Zayn, for example. Some of these guys who haven't had that much of attention in recent times to get in this match and possibly become a future WWE Champion. This is what this match is all about. Giving guys who haven't really had that much opportunities get themselves in this match, and they can turn their careers around in one single night. Mark Henry did it. When he won Money in the Bank, wasn't really doing all that much, but he won Money in the Bank, and all of a sudden he turned his career around from a guy who was just not really doing much at all. He became a World Heavyweight Champion because of it. Then later on, an Intercontinental Champion, and now a Tag Team Champion. So Mark Henry's had a great career here in Universe Mode, and I think you can all, the starting point for that success, you can go back to his Money in the Bank ladder match win and count it from there. So Money in the Bank has certainly done a lot of great things already, and Chris Jericho is another one, could not win the big one. He won Money in the Bank, and he finally became a World Heavyweight Champion because of it. And obviously, multiple-time Tag Team Champion as well. So Jericho's had so much success after his Money in the Bank ladder match victory as well. Mark Henry waiting for RHYNO to get back up to his feet. And RHYNO was ready for the task. And now RHYNO, look at the strength of the big man. RHYNO picking up an even bigger man in Mark Henry. Unsuccessful though, and now a belly-to-belly slam by the world's strongest man. Now, looking to try and win this match and qualify for Money in the Bank. RHYNO kicks out. Tough opponent here tonight for Mark Henry. Obviously, RHYNO has the momentum behind him. And he's had some big victories over the likes of CESARO, for example. And Rusev, he's been coming closer and closer to getting his hands on him and that United States Championship. So RHYNO will love to get in the match just to get his hands on Rusev. But not only that, to possibly become the next WWE Champion. Something that he's yet to do in his career here in the WWE. Mark Henry's side headlock. Mark Henry, perhaps his career, some say, is winding down. His better days are well past him. But a Money in the Bank ladder match victory, well, hey, he may just win the World Championship for one last time. And that's what Mark Henry will be certainly hoping for here. He'll be hoping that he can get himself in this match and become a future champion. And really turn his career around. You know, perhaps one last gasp at the title, one last run, one last big time moment in his career. Who knows? RHYNO right now on the top rope with the elbow strike, countering Henry. Thought about, going off the top rope. Probably a good idea. RHYNO not exactly suited to go off the top rope, and now a half crab applied by Henry. RHYNO very close to the ropes. I think the referee enforcing the rope break regardless. Now Mark Henry has a hold of RHYNO. Just a scoop slam, and now he's just going to run straight into it with the head. So Mark Henry now hooks the leg, perhaps qualifying for Money in the Bank. RHYNO grabbed the rope and saving the match for himself here. Later on, CESARO goes one-on-one with Bad News Barrett. Two men have had a number of matches against each other in recent times. Barrett and CESARO have been on the verge of being breakout stars over on SmackDown. Things haven't worked out all that great for them here on Raw. CESARO, a former US champion, of course, but he would love to be in Money in the Bank, CESARO, as would Barrett, because that is truly the best chance that they will get for quite some time to be up amongst it with the best of the best, because those two guys have been close in recent times, but haven't been able to really reach their full potential. Bit of cat and mouse action now. RHYNO wants to get that announce table taken off. Mark Henry wasn't really all that interested in going out there. Now RHYNO just perhaps baiting him there, waiting for Henry to get outside the ring, and he was ready for the task with a clothesline, but Henry not too phased, and now has RHYNO back where he wants him. Right hand there by Mark Henry, those massive fists of Mark Henry, so much power and strength behind it, and you can see right there, just launching RHYNO away, just shoving him away, and so much strength and power behind it. RHYNO was sent flying. RHYNO now has a hold of Henry and sends him down from behind. So it'll be very interesting to see which other three superstars will be a part of Money in the Bank. Obviously, as we said, some of the main top guys here are occupied, as Reigns and Ryback occupy over those tag titles. Perhaps Batista and Jericho may try and get themselves out of the tag title match, or even look for double duty in the night to enter in that Money in the Bank ladder match. I mean, that's what it's all about. Batista and Jericho, former world champions themselves. Jericho obviously winning Money in the Bank last year. I'm sure they wouldn't mind doing double duty to try and win a chance to be the next world champion at Money in the Bank. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the world title is the pinnacle, and even if you are a tag team champion, sometimes you always have that one eye on the world title. And I'm sure Jericho and Batista, both of them do. That's just who they are. But Ryback and Reigns, they look as though they're going to be the next in line for a tag team title opportunity if they want one. A couple of very, very impressive victories, maybe a few more, and that will get them a title shot. So it'd be interesting to see where their intentions lie. Will they be looking towards Money in the Bank, or will they be looking towards a tag team title opportunity? Now Henry covers RHYNO. RHYNO able to kick out at two. Close matchup here. Henry with just a headbutt there on RHYNO. It's anybody's match right now. RHYNO in some trouble now. Henry just launching him at those ropes with that right hand to the back, and RHYNO bouncing off and bouncing down on his back. Henry looking to continue the pressure here. Mark Henry, I think, just has to qualify, because Henry, he is so big, so powerful. If he gets in that Money in the Bank ladder match, he can quite easily destroy anybody in his path and climb up and grab the briefcase again. Henry sent down behind from RHYNO, and now RHYNO thought he might have been setting him up for the gore in the corner, decided against it. He's going to try and keep Mark Henry down, perhaps so he has enough time to connect with the Gore. RHYNO now, what's he looking for? Hold on a second, RHYNO! The pile driver! RHYNO with the pile driver, bringing out one of the old school moves in the repertoire, the hook of the leg. RHYNO can't defeat Henry. Geez, Henry would have taken one of those moves for a while, but still had enough left in the tank to kick out of the pile driver. Mark Henry, too big, too strong. Going to take a little bit more than that to put him away. A DDT now. How will that fare? Will that be enough for RHYNO? RHYNO has Mark Henry back up again. Not a good idea. Henry was waiting for it. And a clothesline sending RHYNO down. Henry, these right hands to RHYNO's head. Into this skull of RHYNO. Henry is just furious. He took that pile driver. That may have just angered the big man. And now the big bear hug to RHYNO. Trying to crush the ribs of RHYNO. Will this be enough to make RHYNO tap? No. Henry releases the hold but slams down RHYNO in the process. And now Henry stomping away on RHYNO. Mark Henry has gone from really in some trouble to perhaps coming back and potentially winning this match. Needs to find the world's strongest slam. Now Henry launches RHYNO into the steel ring post. RHYNO in trouble. He's in the corner. He's down. Henry may have just turned this match completely around. A 180 here. And now RHYNO, oh, busted open with the knee. The knee of Henry. And that may be the end. Mark Henry to win this match. No, wait a second. RHYNO takes down Henry with a leg sweep. The last gasp here by RHYNO. RHYNO now. Kick to the midsection. Is he going to go for it again? The pile driver. RHYNO connects with a second pile driver to Mark Henry. He drags the huge carcass into the middle of the ring. Now the cover. RHYNO has done it. He qualifies for Money in the Bank. It was a close clash between two behemoths, but RHYNO, the pile driver for the second time, was enough to put Mark Henry away. And now RHYNO joins Rusev in the Money in the Bank ladder match. An opportunity to become a WWE Champion is on the line at 3 weeks' time. We're about to find out our third participant in our next match, but RHYNO immediately has to be one of the favorites. So much momentum on his side. RHYNO will be so tough to beat. A match that won't arguably suit his style, but we've seen it with Henry in the past. It doesn't really matter all that much. There was the first pile driver, and now the second one. Henry had RHYNO beat. He made a late comeback after the first pile driver, but I think he wanted that world's strongest slam, but RHYNO was able just to get out of it and get back to his feet, hit the pile driver, and picks up the win. A lucky escape for RHYNO, but at Money in the Bank there will be nowhere to hide. RHYNO will need to climb that ladder and grab the briefcase. The second of our Money in the Bank qualifiers is upon us right now. It is the Swiss Superman, CESARO, former United States Champion, and a man who I think many tout to be a future WWE Champion at some point. CESARO has been in amongst the tag team division for quite some time now. He looks as though he's moving away from the tag team division and is focusing on his singles career once again. Now, can CESARO recapture the form that almost brought him a World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown 2 years ago? Can he now bring that here to Raw and qualify for Money in the Bank? Time will tell. I think many will fear CESARO if he can qualify, because you just don't know what to expect from CESARO. He can do it all. And a Money in the Bank, if he can qualify, I tell you what, I think he could take the briefcase home. But he has to get through his opponent here tonight. Multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, Bad News Barrett. A man who's almost won the World Heavyweight title in his own right. Of course, go back to SummerSlam, where Bad News Barrett took on The Undertaker last year. Bad News Barrett has had his chances throughout his career to really make a name for himself. But now, in recent times, Bad News Barrett's just been falling away a little bit. A chance here tonight to recapture some of his past glory. Get himself in Money in the Bank and get himself that Money in the Bank briefcase. Many people think that Bad News Barrett, he may never quite recapture his glory. He may never be as good as he once was. Maybe he's already reached his peak and it never really amounted to a huge world title victory. I'm sure Bad News Barrett is out here tonight to prove a point that he's still got plenty left in the tank. Right now it is Barrett versus CESARO. Two men pretty even sized here in this one. This should be a good contest. Both men had so much success on SmackDown, but has come to Raw, and not so much. CESARO, obviously tag team champion, can't take that away from him at all. But in singles, not so much yet for the Swiss Superman. Former US champion, of course, CESARO, Bad News Barrett, multiple-time IC champion. Barrett's been a while since he's held any gold. CESARO been a couple of years since he held a singles championship. CESARO has a hold of Barrett, picks him up with a German suplex. Good start here by CESARO. And just like Rusev, CESARO has been tipped to be one of the breakout stars, perhaps, maybe not this year, but very, very soon. CESARO just has all the tools, doesn't he? He is just so good. And Barrett plants him down, though. And Bad News Barrett now looking to go up the second rope with a splash and connects. I thought he may not have the range there, but he did connect pretty nicely there on CESARO. And CESARO, though, picks Barrett up and hits the clothesline. Now CESARO stomping away on the arm of Bad News Barrett. CESARO's been teaming up with Tyson Kidd in recent times. Very successful as a tag team. And CESARO just basically, look, he wants to see how he goes. How far can he go as a single star? Obviously on SmackDown he had world title shots over there when Ryback was the champion a couple years ago. He came so close, but unfortunately for CESARO, he just ran into an informed Ryback. He just came in and into the world title picture when Ryback was at his peak. And CESARO was not good enough to beat Ryback on that occasion, and we have yet to see CESARO back in that spot ever since. And CESARO, though, look, you know, he's a guy who has superhuman strength. You look at CESARO, and you know he's a big guy. You know he's a very strong guy, but you just don't expect him to be that strong. You know, he can pick up Mark Henry, Big Show, you name it, he can pick them all up with ease. That's how good CESARO is, and you certainly wouldn't expect that from a guy of CESARO's size, but he is very, very strong, and he can also fly in that ring as well, which is why he is so difficult to predict. In a Money in the Bank ladder match, you know, he can do the power moves off the ladder. He can do, you know, the high-flying maneuvers off the ladder. He can do all those crazy stunts that you need to do to survive and to win that type of match. CESARO can do it all, which is why if he can get through Barrett tonight, he may be one of the perfect superstars for that match. Unlike a RHYNO or Rusev, who so far you would say aren't exactly suited towards that matchup. And Barrett as well, not so much either. He's more of a brawler, doesn't have the huge size, you know, to him, but he certainly is more of that brawler type, despite, you know, being a bit more leaner. Not really a high-flying superstar as well. So Bad News Barrett will rely on his just brawling ability, probably utilizing that ladder to his advantage, and trying to wear down his opponent with his bare-knuckle brawling. Now CESARO trying to get back to his feet here. Bad News Barrett unsuccessful. And an elbow shot there to Barrett. Now CESARO from behind has a hold of Barrett, and here we go with a suplex. German suplex there on Bad News Barrett. A chance for CESARO to gain advantage in this one. Now, oh, the uppercut there, launching Bad News Barrett in the air. And now the uppercut, it has connected, and CESARO to qualify for Money in the Bank. No, Bad News Barrett has kicked out at 2. Oh, it was close though. CESARO getting a big one, a big shot in early on. And now CESARO looking for another one. Barrett in real trouble. CESARO was going for the neutralizer. Bad News Barrett was up to the task, but a DDT from CESARO. So he still has all the control of this one. But Bad News Barrett luckily missed CESARO's best shot in the neutralizer. CESARO, what's he thinking about now? He's just wondering, what can he do now? He's got Bad News Barrett right where he wants him. He needs to make sure that he can take advantage of this momentum that he has and this advantage. Otherwise, Bad News Barrett, in a blink of an eye, can hit that bullhammer elbow and turn this match around. One strike with that elbow, and it's all over. CESARO needs to be very careful of that snapmare takedown now on Bad News Barrett. Has the arm again. continue the pressure on perhaps the elbow that Bad News Barrett may use for the bull hammer. Not a bad idea there by Cesaro, but Bad News Barrett up to the task and gets out of it very quickly. Barrett now has Cesaro, throws him against the ropes, but Cesaro countering with the belly-to-belly. Well, Cesaro just keeps firing back no matter what Bad News Barrett is throwing at him and launching at him. Cesaro has something to return serve with. Cesaro, an elbow right to the skull of Barrett. Again, Cesaro looking towards that left elbow and trying to take it out of the equation. But Barrett again making sure that Cesaro can't do it, but obviously that elbow has taken a bit of damage here by Cesaro. Some smart strategy here by Cesaro, who's obviously done his scouting work here to try and make sure that he gets one up on his opponent. You take the bullhammer out of the match, and I'm not sure where Bad News Barrett can go from there. The bullhammer, such a successful move for Barrett throughout his career. If you take that away from him, I'm not sure what he can do next to put Cesaro away. It'll obviously give Cesaro a huge advantage in this contest. Barrett, though, is up on his feet. Cesaro is down. This is a chance now for Barrett to try and put Cesaro away. Bit of pressure applied now to the Swiss Superman, who will get the shoulder up. The left shoulder is up. And Barrett just taking a quick breather. It's really all been Cesaro in this one. Barrett needs to fight his way back. Just needs to silence Cesaro here. But Cesaro straight away launching Barrett over the top rope. Barrett hangs on. He's hanging on again, just barely. He'll get his way back into the ring now. And now Barrett launches Cesaro in the corner. What can Bad News Barrett do here? What can he deliver to put Cesaro out of this matchup? Not much, because Cesaro has Barrett this time in a very precarious position. Barrett, though, is he countering? No. I thought he just grabbed the foot there. It was blocking the shots, but as it turned out... Oh, wait! Well, hold the phone. Forget about that, because Cesaro connects with another uppercut right to the chest. That European uppercut now. And no, he's kicked out. Cesaro nearly had Barrett. Nearly had him again. The uppercut, launching him up in the air, hitting him right in the chest. And Cesaro comes within half a second of qualifying for Money in the Bank again. Barrett is hanging on for dear life, but Cesaro, he is getting closer and closer to winning this one. This time now, he's looking to set him up for the neutralizer. Couldn't get it in the first time. The second time, it will be connected. The neutralizer. Cesaro rolls Barrett over. The cover. But Cesaro makes a crucial error. And Barrett able to find the ropes. The takedown now by Cesaro. Will that cost Cesaro this match? Cesaro had Bad News Barrett won. I don't know if Bad News Barrett really knows where he is right now. I think just he got lucky that his arms happened to fall underneath those ropes. But Cesaro had the match won. And now he could be in some trouble, Cesaro, if he doesn't act quickly. He has Barrett right where he wants him. He needs to put him away right now. Scoop slam there by Cesaro. Cesaro, what can he do now? It's a crucial time in this match. Cesaro has Barrett up, but Bad News Barrett. Back body drops, down goes Cesaro. Oh no. Cesaro, I think, has made the ultimate mistake. He's been working on the left elbow. Barrett goes for the bullhammer with the right elbow, but Cesaro blocking and getting out of the way. Counters that move from Barrett. Cesaro scouting at Bad News Barrett. Snap suplex. Cesaro now. He has avoided Bad News Barrett's best shot. And Cesaro has Barrett up. Barrett sweeping Cesaro off his feet, trying to stay in it. Now again, Barrett is going to set him up for the bullhammer. If he connects, he's going to Money in the Bank. He connects right there. Cesaro. That's it. Cesaro is finished. Bad News Barrett is going to qualify for Money in the Bank. No! How the hell did he kick out at 2? Getting the shoulder up and keeps the match alive somehow. And now Barrett too busy trying to recover and wondering what went wrong. Instead, Cesaro springs to his feet, hits the neutralizer, and Cesaro is going to steal it from Barrett. He does! Cesaro! Oh, he survives. He just barely escapes and he qualifies for Money in the Bank. What a matchup between these two. Bad News Barrett, the bullhammer. Nobody kicks out of the bullhammer. Cesaro got the shoulder up somehow and walks away with the win. Arguably, Barrett very lucky earlier on that neutralizer in the first instance did not beat him there. I think he was just working off borrowed time, but hey, he almost stole it from Cesaro. But at the end of the day, Cesaro got back to his feet. Bad News Barrett, here it was. He was just taking too much time. Cesaro, he was beat. Barrett had him. And Bad News Barrett, instead of continuing the pressure on Cesaro, decided to take a breather, look around the crowd, take in the view, take in the audience. Well, hey Barrett, there's a match to win, and you just lost. Cesaro making Barrett pay for his ultimate mistake, and now as the third qualifier for the Money in the Bank ladder match, he'll join RHYNO and Rusev. 3 participants to go. We're going to find out the next 3 over the course of the next 2 weeks here on Universe Mode. Ladies and gentlemen, well, who's your early pick so far? RHYNO, he was pretty good. Rusev, pretty good. Cesaro, pretty good. So far, all 3 definite favorites from me. I can't pick a winner from those 3 yet, but there's still 3 more to qualify. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again for joining us for another episode of Universe Mode. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video. It'd be great if we can hit 10 likes on this episode. Plus, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be great to see you join the BrendenPlayz family. As well as that, join the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums. Check out the Twitter @BrendenPlayz, and have a great day.